Today, I'm going to be showing you how to replace the VVT Solenoid seal on my 2010 Mazda 6. This is the 3.7 liter Ford engine, and recently I've been seeing oil drippings on the passenger side underneath the car when I park it for the night. At first I thought it was my oil pan, but as I started to dig more into it, I saw that oil was dripping from a higher area. So I popped the hood and found oil splattered all over this coolant reservoir and some of the coolant hoses here. I also found oil pooling in some of these areas near the valve cover bolts. After further inspection, I found that this VVT solenoid seal is totally worn out. This could be from age or the heat in Arizona, but regardless, it's cracked and broken and spraying oil out all over the upper part of the engine. So we're gonna get this thing replaced. It's super easy to do. Let's get into it. You might be able to pop this seal off with the valve cover still on, but I didn't want to accidentally knock our VVT solenoid, so I decided to take the valve cover off. The process for this will be the same for both valve covers on the engine. The only thing for the other side is you'll have to take off the intake, which is just an additional 4 to 5 bolts and 2 hoses. But for this video, we're only gonna be focusing on this front valve cover. I saw a lot of different information online, but I found that these Felpro seals were a perfect fit. This is part number ES73074. The first step to any kind of job like this is to disconnect our negative battery cable. And now we can disconnect the air intake box from the throttle body. Now we can remove the crankcase breather hose, and we'll disconnect our VVT solenoid and take out our dipstick. We can now work on removing the spark components. First, we'll unplug the coils. And now we can remove the spark plug coils. There are 2 nuts holding this harness mount to our valve cover. And with that off there, we can now remove all of the valve cover bolts. And with those bolts off, we can now remove the valve cover. And now we can take the valve cover over to our bench to work this old seal out and get the new one installed. All you need is a hammer and a flathead screwdriver, and you can work this seal out. I found it easier just to hammer in one of the edges, and then you can pry out that old seal. I found that a 1 1/8 socket was perfect for hammering this new seal back in place. You can give that a couple whacks to get it seated. I found that using a small flat plate like this was perfect for making sure that the seal goes in flush. You could even use them both together, but just go slow to make sure that everything gets seated properly. Now that we got a snug fit, we can now get our valve cover reinstalled. Make sure to wipe up all of the oil on the valve cover gasket and on the area where it's going to be sitting on the head. I took a little bit of oil and rubbed it on the seal to give it a little lubrication around the VVT solenoid. I used that socket from earlier to make sure that the seal went around the VVT solenoid evenly. And that is it, guys. It was that easy to get this job done. The seal fits perfectly around the solenoid, and there are no gaps for any oil to escape. And now all you have to do is put everything back in reverse order, and you are all done with this super easy fix. Thank you all very much for watching. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on my next auto adventures.